We all love some meal planning tips, don't we? With something that we do day in and day out for decades on end, we sometimes need to freshen things up, rethink how we do things, get some new ideas and a fresh approach so that we can keep the momentum and the energy going in putting dinners, meals, food on the table for our families. So today I have 5 meal planning tips that will help you do just that faster and better. I'm Misty Winkler and you're watching Simply Convivial's Help for Homemakers channel. Making a menu plan, purchasing what you need for your menu plan, and preparing meals from that menu plan is a long and sometimes needlessly stressful process. When we're stressed or confused, we tend to overbuy. We tend to make more impulse purchases and maybe even forget what we actually needed at the store in the first place. So today I have 5 tips that have helped me remain clear-headed at the grocery store so that I can get what I need and not overspend. Stay tuned and let's dig in. If you like meal planning, homemaking, planning, and organizing tips, then just click the like button on this video so that YouTube will show you more videos whenever you're hanging out on YouTube. Plus, that will help YouTube know that this is a good video to recommend to others. And you can even recommend this video to others by sharing it with your friends. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So the first tip today is to focus on family favorites in your menu plan. It's easy to get carried away with other people's menu plan samples or prepackaged lists online. But we need to remember that we should not get gourmet or exotic with our average family dinner menu plan. We want to select meals that we can prepare that our family will eat. Rather than spending time searching out new recipes all the time, stick to familiar favorites. Build up a repertoire. Cooking the same sort of dinner doesn't have to mean eating the same thing all the time. You can switch out seasonings, vegetables, meat, or other ingredients to vary the taste of some basic meals that you might like. You can put the same ingredients in a different form to change things up. For example, you can serve chili as a soup with chips, or you can serve chili as a topping for a baked potato dinner. Cooking the same basic meals doesn't have to be monotonous, but it can be a lifesaver as we build up our skill and as we use dinner not to showcase or show off that skill, but to serve our families and foster relationships around the table. My second tip is to use only simple recipes. Keep and use recipes that require the same basic ingredients. If you need a specialty ingredient, especially if it's perishable, that only one recipe you sometimes use, or maybe just a recipe you want to try, requires, then it's probably not a recipe worth keeping in your rotation. In my menu planning routine, I have about 20 types of meals, each with at least 3 and usually more like 6 variations. And they all use only the same basic ingredients from my master pantry list. As long as I keep those items in my pantry, I can buy whatever meat or whatever vegetables are on sale whenever I go to the store, and I have a variety of options for serving them. I don't have to run to the store for a last minute ingredient that I've never even heard of before or that I know I'm not going to use again. This plan still gives me enough options that it doesn't get monotonous, but it's not so many that it's complicated. With one glance at my list, I can quickly and easily fill out my menu plan and know that I have the ingredients on hand to fix those things. If this approach sounds intriguing to you, I explain how to get there in the course Simplified Pantry, which I'll explain more about later. But you can also find that if you click the green enroll button at simplyconvivial.com. Okay, third tip, keep a few quick Plan B options on hand. We all have those days where dinner flops or events conspire to make getting dinner on the table feel impossible. It's good to keep a few go-to freezer staples as reliable backups, because even if those meals might cost more than a typical homemade meal, it is still significantly less than going out to eat. Frozen pizza is of course a common choice, but frozen lasagna or even hamburger patties and a pack of buns frozen with them can make a fast dinner cooked on the grill or griddle. Choose something. It's especially helpful if you choose a Plan B option that someone else in your family can prepare so that if you're sick, they can take the reins and still get dinner on the table. My fourth tip might sound like an earlier one. It really is the same thing, and it might just be, but it's because it's that good of a tip. 4, rely on a simple, basic pantry rather than on specialty ingredients. If you buy one random item on coupon but never use it, you've not saved any money. If your food storage space is stuffed with 5-year-old unopened boxes, cans, or half-used bits of specialty bulk ingredients, or maybe even items that seemed like deals that were too good to pass up, but you don't know how or when you're going to use them, then you're not really saving money. A limited number of basic pantry staples makes grocery shopping easier and faster because the grocery list really stays the same. Spending less time comparison shopping, checking out sale items, or finding those deals, much less browsing through ads and clipping coupons, will save you money as well as time and space in your kitchen. Don't buy ingredients that you don't need or aren't sure you will use for a variety of different meals. Again, this strategy is taught in my Simplified Pantry course at Simply Convivial Continuing Education, but more on that in a bit. My 5th tip is to learn how to adapt recipes based on what you have on hand. Recipes are really more like guidelines than a set of rules, especially cooking, especially meals. Most recipes, especially for main dishes, don't need to be followed exactly. It's better to substitute and adapt within a familiar recipe and use what you have on hand rather than make an emergency trip to the grocery store where you will probably end up purchasing more than you intended or needed, not to mention the time savings. You can substitute ground beef for ground sausage if that's what you have. You can substitute sour cream for plain yogurt or plain yogurt for sour cream. You can leave out an herb if you don't have it. You can leave out green onions or celery or some other small flavoring ingredient if you don't have it on hand. It's not going to actually make much difference. You don't need to go to the grocery store to be sure that you have each and every item called for. And you don't need to find a new recipe if you don't have everything on the list. You're just trying to feed your family, not create a culinary masterpiece. Experiment and have fun with it. And know that substitution is the name of the game in home cooking. If you need more than just a few tips to get your kitchen and your meal planning and your grocery shopping under control, then I have just the thing for you. It's Simplified Pantry, my 6-module course. You can work through these steps in a month, which means that you can simplify your pantry for $18. Enrollment in Simply Convivial Continuing Education is only $18 a month. So if you stick with the program, follow the checklists, read or listen to the lessons, you can get an amazing value and revolutionize your pantry and meal planning processes with Simplified Pantry. Just click the link in the YouTube description below or go to simplyconvivial.com and click the green enroll button. When you join, just get started right away with the Simplified Pantry course. And while you do that, repent, rejoice, repeat.